All right, let's talk about another misunderstood topic, the ego. There is nothing wrong with having an ego. The ego is just your self identity, self confidence, self power. It is the solar chakra, heavy, and it is formed by your trauma in your life, unfortunately, for most people. It's the worst when you get to middle school, going into high school, 10 to 13 years old. Because when you become a teenager, that's when your personality, or for some people, the false ego forms. That's why I said there's nothing wrong with the ego. It's the distorted and the false ego that gets people in trouble. Because when you're a child, you don't care what people think. And when you're older, you don't care what people think because you're not playing the social game, the social hierarchy. That's popular, that's cool, that's not. When you a child, everything cool, everything's fun. So you have no need to try to fit in because there is no fitting in. And then a lot of your things are based off of your environment. Most people that grow up in lower income areas are forced to be in a survivalist mentality and frequency, which is the root chakra, which is the root chakra distorted because the root chakra deals with stability. When you don't have a stable environment, stable income, stable housing, stable food source, then you develop a personality in which you'll do whatever to get those things, which is why a lot of people from those environments lean to crime. The suburban or the well off kid usually just wants the love of their parents because the parents are usually not around. Or they just think that because I can buy my kid the car, the shoes, the clothes, that's all they need. And then that forms the messed up ego in those children because people like them for what they have and not who they are. So they base their ego off of what I have, what I put on, what I drive, what I show off, what I project. All things that lead to false egos. And it starts with the parents because the parents probably didn't have their true ego growing up or never was able to heal and understand. I need to know who I am before I think about having any children so they'll know who they are. It always starts with knowing who you are and being able to hear your true self, which is that heart, that balanced heart. And what you wanted to do as a child was just be happy, have peace, have fun. It was not necessarily to be rich or be famous or be IG famous or TikTok or social media famous or whatever. And those are also the other key things that play into people's false egos. I want to dress like the stars or the athletes. Y'all just wearing them big dumbass pants because your favorite athletes and actors wearing them now. You not fashion trendy. You a follower. Be yourself. Wear what you want to wear. Wear what's comfortable. Them bell bottom pants was ugly in the 70s and they ugly now. But I digress. And that's my point though. Social media got a chokehold on some of y'all. And for some of y'all that claim to be Christians, I look at who you follow. And a lot of y'all follow celebrities. They're your true gods. Be your own God. Like I said, self identity, self confidence. Go to places you want to go and be who you want to be. There's athletes that really wanted to be musicians and artists because that's what they truly love. But they were told, hey, go on this football field, run these routes. Go on the basketball court, dunk this ball. Go on the soccer field, score these goals. And that's not what they really wanted to do. What they really wanted to do is sit and express themselves through painting, through drawing, through playing an instrument, that flute, that clarinet, that trombone, that trumpet. But some of us put it down because that was told to be nerdy. That ain't cool. What is cool? Being miserable, doing something you don't want to do? Some of you know people who just project all day. And that's why we live in an unhealthy society because everybody's projecting, trying to fit in instead of, like somebody wrote for Drake, transitioning from fitting in to standing out. Another line, being humble don't work as well as being aware. And you got to be aware of who you truly are or who you performing to be just to fit in society. Everybody's sick because ain't nobody being themselves. Yeah, you got mental disorders because you don't know who you are. You let the television tell you who you are and who to be and what to believe. A lot of y'all get divine downloads and y'all fight them all day because they contradict the programming that we have received growing up. Some of y'all still believe the news, which is insane to me. And everybody that knows the truth knows they put the real truth in movies. Heavy in sci-fi movies, specifically. Anime. That shit is real. If you want a demonstration of how to astral travel and do the chi balls that your favorite Dragon Ball Z characters do, book a session, kadoshmeditations.com. I got you. And I literally teach people how to do this stuff. And the main part of that is healing, shadow integration. Like I said, returning back to who you were before you were told who you should be to fit into a society that's fake anyway. Some of y'all are in relationships that y'all want to be out of right now, but you scared what somebody gonna say. Who cares? You want to be happy or you want to be miserable? At some point, you got to decide what's to do what's best for you and say, I don't care what my parents think. I don't care what my friends think or my followers think. Because people are going to think what they want to anyway. You could project all you want to, but people are going to see through your projections, especially the ones that have true discernment and know who they are. You got to return to who you truly are. That's where happiness lies. That's where love lies. A lot of y'all don't have self-love, and it's proven because y'all don't do what's best for self. You got to do what's best for you. That's true happiness, not what's going to get you the followers or the social gratification. It ain't going to be satisfying because you ain't being you. Because they not. The people that you trying to impress are not going to accept you 9 times out of 10. As soon as you turn your back, they going to laugh at you because they know you're not being who you truly are. They will readily more accept the person that's just being themselves. And that's what y'all fail to realize. And then, like I said, I understand it's hard with social media projecting like this is what happiness is and this is who you need to be. But it's all lies. And it's the reason why there's so much mental health issues going on. Because when your heart and your mind ain't in alignment, that's what causes misery. That's what causes you to not be able to function day to day because you're fighting against your own heart. And it's always about the heart. But to get that heart balance, you got to know who you are. And most people don't know who they are because they don't have a true ego. They got a distorted ego or a false ego. And it starts with healing your traumas and asking, okay, at what point did I decide that I want to be this version of myself instead of the true version of myself? I watched a clip on TikTok when they were showing how Helga became the person she was and why she fell in love with Arnold because Arnold was the first person to love her for her. A lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of men put up with BS love situations because they never saw it from their parents. Once again, forming a false ego, a false way of thinking how love is supposed to be. And that's why self-love is important. Because once you truly learn how to love yourself and determine this is what I love, this is how I want my husband to love me, my boyfriend to love me, my girlfriend to love me. And then in return, when y'all have children, then you could properly love your children and show them you need to be yourself. And when you are yourself, this is the life and the lifestyle that comes with it. Because when you are truly yourself and you have true happiness, the cars, the clothes, the trips, the money, all that is a true blessing. And it adds to what you already have, which is peace and happiness. And if you ever lose it, it doesn't matter because you already have everything you need. The love. Stay in love. Peace.